Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back. CommonSense New Hampshire. Our phone number is 603-217-5400. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Don't forget, we will not have a CommonSense New Hampshire show next weekend. Next weekend is St. Patrick's Day. We try to fit it in, but with our schedules and the craziness, we're not going to have a show. So join us in 2 weeks when we return. Again, we've been talking about this major topic here. We're expecting the ex-girlfriend of Jeremy Winslow to call. Hopefully she'll call. Again, if she does, we'll have her on our show, obviously. So that alludes me into this week's opinion poll. Let's get right into the opinion poll. Yep. Loved it. I think this was a great thing. Kimber, take it away. What is this week's opinion poll?
All right, so the opinion poll was, do you think it's a good idea to also have a domestic violence registry similar to sexual offender registry? And I actually got a lot of responses on this. I got a lot of shares, and then from those shares, people commented and so forth. And the resounding response from everybody that commented was absolutely, yes, amazing idea. Perfect idea, which segues into what Kara is doing. There is a petition going around to do just that. Get a registry for people that have multiple domestic violence cases brought against them. So those that, especially, the big thing now is dating sites. That's how you meet people, especially when you're a hard worker. It's hard to go out and date. Find out, these people, most domestic violence people that I've met, unfortunately, are very charming, very smart, intellectual people. They suck you in. They're there to save the day, da-da-da-da, and then they have this dark past and secret. I think it's a very important, very noble cause that a lot of people should get behind, and at the least to sign the petition. We will post it on our site later on, so that the link, so that you can go and sign this petition. Share it, pass it along. So right now, I think it was originally supposed to be 50 signatures. Now the next one is 500. If I'm not mistaken, 20,000 gets it to go to
the state for
yes.
For a resolution to a bill to okay.
Yeah.
So
take a few minutes, sign it, share it. Let's get it out there. It makes sense.
As you guys know, I'm the devil's advocate of this show. So, I'm not opposed to this idea. I think it's a great idea. However, I really think that it has to be done it has to be done very carefully. Just like with our sex offender registry, there are different levels. And I think there are different levels of domestic violence as well. I think this is going to be a very touchy subject, because I know some of the lawyers are going, a good idea, and some of the lawyers are going, this is going to be a nightmare, this is going to be a bad idea. Here's why. Because there are situations where, an accidental push will happen, or, your arm spazzes, and then all of a sudden you hit somebody by mistake, and then all of a sudden it becomes an assault, and again, I'm not opposed to it. It just has to be done very carefully, and I think there has to be certain levels that I guess have to be defined, just like in the sex registry.
I agree.
Process. Do you agree? That's it? No comment, especially because again,
Well, no, I think it's in order. The thing is that unfortunately, I would say all of our bouncers would be on that list right now, just for different things. You're at work. You're.
It's different though.
But it's not.
Yes, it is.
I'm playing devil advocate right now, because if you think about it, you go to court for it, you get charged.
Let me tell you how the law is defined. if you are a security staff member at an establishment, okay, it's like defending your home. If someone invades your house,
Ouch.
you're not going to get you're not going to get an assault charge because you're defending your home. It's in our constitution.
Really?
Yes.
How
really.
about the gentleman that was trying to break into a house, fell through the skylight on a thing of knives that were on the counter, and the homeowner's the one that got charged.
Right. That was a totally different situation. Totally. I am actually talking about a person-to-person scenario. Okay. So security staff are hired to keep the establishment safe. And if there is some sort of physical force, for lack of better terms, to making sure that this person needs to be vacated from that establishment, they have every right to do their job. Now, if something happens outside of that establishment, in the parking lot, on the sidewalk, whatever you want to, again, anything that's outside of the establishment, then it becomes a natural thing where an assault charge or an altercation that involves law enforcement becomes an issue. That's the scenario. But if you're hired as a security staff for this establishment, that's a totally different scenario. It just invalidates what you just
I
said.
think there's going to be a fine line. Honestly, I think there's going to be a fine line between, who goes on and who doesn't. And I think it's going to end up being a lot of people. I mean, I know people that unfortunately are on the sex registry because they were 18 sleeping with somebody who was 17. The parents.
And that is exactly my point that I was trying to make. I'm not opposed to a registry of some sort for domestic abuse, offenders. But again, it has to be defined very well, because if someone accidentally, flings their arm and automatically, hits that person on accident, oh my God, that was considered an assault, and it becomes a big thing. So as long as it becomes defined in the correct way, I don't have a problem with it. But when, our justice system, it's not perfect. We all know that. No, it's not. But all I'm just trying to say is, if they do it right, it could be a powerful tool.
I completely agree. And I think it's just going to be that fine line of who goes on and who doesn't, and, for what reasons. And do you make it so that it has to be multiples? Do you, like, multiple offenses? Do you wait until it's the first offense? I mean, you get into an argument with your spouse and you trip, and next thing you know, oh, he hit me. No, he really didn't. You fell on yourself, and now he's being charged and put on. It's like...
and that's... I know. It opens up a can of worms, but if...
But then you've got you've got the people who are multiply, doing this and are constantly in court for it. And, I would say even stalking, should be put on that. If you're known to stalk somebody, something's gonna happen at some point.
Stalking doesn't necessarily mean a domestic assault happens. Hold on, we're getting a phone call here. CommonSense New Hampshire. Good afternoon. Who's this? Hello?
Hi.
Hi, who's this?
This is Kara.
Kara, thank you so much for joining our show. How are you?
Yeah, I didn't realize it started at 2, so I just wanted to call in and kind of listen.
So, if you're listening to the show, Kara, how do you say your last name, by the way?
Cologne.
It's Cologne. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I've been seeing it wrong.
Yeah.
So to our listeners, Cara Cologne is on the show right now, calling us, and she was the ex-girlfriend of Jeremy. And again, this is one of the biggest, the hottest topic that's been happening for all types of radio shows and podcasts, as you know. I'm just going to give you a few minutes here. I want you to tell the world your scenario, your situation, and how do you feel about this whole thing that's been going on?
So I dated Jeremy for 3 months back in 2016, and there were red flags, but Jeremy is the narcissist of the world. He will charm you, tell you everything that you want to hear, and it's unfortunate that I wasn't able to tell Tanya about my past with him, because I did press charges. I wrote a witness impact statement. My court date was actually the day after International Women's Day, and so to see that he was arrested in the Nashua, New Hampshire court the day that he was there for his deferred sentencing. In my case, he was arrested by the Manchester police for having cocaine and a suspended license. He's had a suspended license since I've known him. Jeremy has the longest criminal rap sheet you will ever lay your eyes on. Mm-hmm. I am talking, it is longer than the Great Wall of China. He needs to be where he is. He should have been there a long time ago. He only served 30 days because of his deferred sentencing in my case, which included me having a concussion and suffering brain hemorrhages, which were revealed on MRI imaging. So with all of this that's going on, I can't help but now be involved. I started a petition because for the longest time we have needed a registry. I feel as though men and women with a domestic conviction that abuse women and target them on dating websites need to be stopped. We're well aware of sex offenders in this world. Why aren't we made public information for people like Jeremy? I think if Tanya had known about his past, she would have ran for the hills. And it's unfortunate that she took his bullet that night. You know, that bullet was intended for him. Everybody knows it. Everybody's talking about it. And I went to her wake. I went with 2 other survivors of Jeremy's. And I think that justice needs to be served for all.
Do you know of other ex-girlfriends that Jeremy had? Have you reached out to them?
I know all of them.
You know all of them.
I have a picture.
Can you tell me how many ex-girlfriends are involved in kind of like your scenario?
2, 3. I'm talking to 3 of the girls right now. So they are going to help me spread awareness with the petition. I'm trying to get the one before Tanya to talk, because if she does, he will be charged with a felony, which will give him more time. It'll just tack on more time to his time that he's already going to serve. I want to keep him in there. His bail's set at a $10,000 surety, which is only $1,000. I mean, anybody in their right mind knows not to post bail for him, but he does have 2 kids.
We did see the video arraignment. We actually have it on our posted on our Facebook, but we didn't know what the details were. Because obviously they were trying to go for the $10,000 cash. But do you know what the result was? It was $10,000 cash surety. You know that for
surety.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's cash surety. Yeah, if he gets out, it's he'll be on an ankle bracelet.
Unbelievable. I not to pry, because like I said, I know this is something that's personal, but I'm assuming that there were multiple assaults against you because of this gentleman or guy. I don't even want to call him a gentleman because of this.
No, he's not. He's a monster. I refer to him as the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had only dated him for 3 months, but during the 3 months, it was just living hell, walking on eggshells, spitting in my face, just verbally abusing me, calling me nasty names. He did steroids, drank alcohol, did cocaine when I was with him, so nothing's really changed.
And he's the same person that he was when you first met him?
Yes, that's right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just after talking to his ex-girlfriends, 2 of them before me, and then the one before Tanya, they're telling me their stories, and I'm just blown away.
Are they similar stories, or are they even more
They're
disturbing?
worse.
Really?
Oh my God.